Trump withdraws U.S. from UNESCO again. Woke agenda clash? In a stunning repeat of history, President Trump has withdrawn the United States from UNESCO for the second time, a move that reignites global debates about America's role in international institutions. This decision, effective December 31, 2026, directly reverses the Biden administration's re-entry and underscores a deepening divide in U.S. foreign policy approaches. But here's where it gets controversial. The White House justifies this by labeling UNESCO a promoter of woke, divisive causes out of step with American values. White House spokesperson Anna Kelly stated bluntly, UNESCO's agenda clashes with the common-sense policies voters endorsed. Meanwhile, the State Department amplified this stance, calling UNESCO's development agenda globalist and incompatible with America First priorities. UNESCO Director General Audrey Azoulay expressed profound regret, though noted the withdrawal was anticipated. She revealed the agency had proactively reduced financial reliance on the U.S., now just 8% of its budget, through diversified funding. French President Emmanuel Macron swiftly countered the U.S. move on social media, declaring unwavering support for UNESCO as a universal protector of science, culture, and heritage. Israel openly applauded the withdrawal, citing UNESCO's 2011 admission of Palestine as a member state, a move the U.S. claims fueled anti-Israel rhetoric. But this is the part most people miss. UNESCO officials firmly rejected this narrative, pointing to 8 years of consensus building between Israeli and Palestinian delegates. Azoulay emphasized that the agency actively advances Holocaust education and combats anti-Semitism, making U.S. accusations contradict reality. This withdrawal isn't isolated. It mirrors Trump's first-term retreat from the WHO, Paris Climate Accord, and UN Human Rights Council, all later reversed by Biden and now reinstated. Diplomatic sources suggest UNESCO's anticipation of this decision stemmed from inevitable political forces, especially after Biden repaid prior withdrawal debts. UNESCO, founded in 1945 to forge peace through education and cultural cooperation, is renowned for designating World Heritage sites like the Grand Canyon and Syria's Palmyra. The U.S. has a tumultuous history with the agency, withdrawing in 1984 over financial and anti-U.S. bias claims, rejoining in 2003 after reforms, exiting under Trump in 2017, returning under Biden in 2023, and now departing again. Now we turn to you. Does cutting ties with UNESCO protect national interests or isolate America from critical global collaboration? Share your perspective below. Is this a stand against bias or a blow to multilateral problem solving? Trump pulls U.S. from UNESCO. Woke agenda and anti-Israel bias exposed. Here's a move that's shaking the global stage. President Trump is reportedly preparing to yank the United States out of UNESCO once again, this time targeting the organization's diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) policies, its pro-Palestinian stances, and what he calls its pro-China tilt. But here's where it gets controversial. The decision isn't just about politics. It's a clash between what the administration sees as American values and UNESCO's progressive cultural initiatives. Let's break this down. Back in February, Trump's team launched a 90-day review of the U.S.'s UNESCO membership, zeroing in on alleged anti-Semitism and anti-Israel bias. After the probe, officials reportedly flagged UNESCO's DI agenda as misaligned with U.S. priorities. This president will always put America first, White House Deputy Spokesperson Anna Kelly stated, emphasizing that UNESCO's woke, divisive causes contradict the policies Americans voted for in November. But what exactly is in UNESCO's DI playbook that's causing such a stir? Among the flashpoints, a 2023 anti-racism toolkit that urged member states to compete in a race to the top for social justice advocacy, requiring them to audit their histories of racism and push for equity. Then there's the 2024 Transforming Mentalities Initiative, which focused on reshaping how men in India perceive gender roles, specifically targeting harmful norms. Even a report on video games and gender equality sparked backlash, with UNESCO claiming games could combat stereotypes and foster anti-discriminatory behaviors. Critics argue these efforts veer into ideological territory, while supporters see them as vital for progress. And this is the part most people miss. UNESCO's anti-Israel actions have been a consistent trigger. The organization has labeled Jewish holy sites as Palestinian World Heritage and used language that frames Palestine as occupied without holding Hamas accountable for its actions in Gaza. Meanwhile, China's growing influence, through funding and leadership roles like Deputy Director General Xing Chu, has raised eyebrows. A White House official claimed Beijing is leveraging UNESCO to promote global standards that align with its interests, including downplaying the role of minorities like Uyghur Muslims in Chinese history. This isn't the first time the U.S. has left UNESCO. Trump previously withdrew the country in 2017 over similar anti-Israel concerns, and President Reagan did the same in 1983, criticizing the agency for politicizing education and culture. President Biden reversed course in 2023, arguing the U.S. needed to counter China's influence and repay $600 million in unpaid dues. But now, Trump's team is framing the decision as a necessary stand for national sovereignty. So, where does this leave the world? UNESCO's supporters warn that U.S. withdrawal could weaken global cooperation on education and cultural preservation. Detractors, however, see it as a long overdue rejection of an institution they view as biased and out of touch. Here's the catch: the debate isn't just about UNESCO. It's about how nations balance ideology with diplomacy. Do you believe the U.S. should retreat from organizations that challenge its values, or should it engage to influence from within? Share your thoughts in the comments. After all, the real story isn't just who's right, it's how the world adapts when the U.S. says we're out. Why the U.S. withdrew from UNESCO, America First versus Globalism. In a significant move that has stirred discussions, the United States has officially announced its decision to withdraw from the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. This announcement was made by the U.S. Department of State on July 22, 2025, and was communicated directly to UNESCO's Director General, Audrey Azoulay. The core reasoning behind this decision is that ongoing participation in UNESCO does not align with the national interests of the United States. UNESCO has been criticized for promoting divisive social and cultural initiatives, and it has been perceived as placing an excessive emphasis on the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. These goals are often viewed as part of a broader globalist agenda that conflicts with the principles of the America First foreign policy. A particularly contentious point in this context is UNESCO's decision to grant membership to the State of Palestine, which the U.S. government considers problematic. This move is seen as contrary to established U.S. policy and has been linked to an increase in anti-Israel sentiments within the organization. As the U.S. shifts its focus, future participation in international organizations will be directed towards promoting American interests with a clear and unwavering approach. According to Article 2(6) of the UNESCO Constitution, the withdrawal will officially take effect on December 31, 2026, meaning that the United States will continue to hold its membership status until that date. But here's where it gets controversial. What does this withdrawal mean for the future of international cooperation in education and culture? Will this decision lead to a more isolationist stance, or could it spark a reevaluation of how global organizations operate? We invite you to share your thoughts. Do you agree with this decision, or do you see it as a step back for global collaboration? Your opinions matter, and we encourage a lively discussion in the comments.